Humans have been using lead for over 8,000 years, and we've known it's been dangerous for about 3,000 of them. So why have we kept on using lead despite knowing its dangers? And how has this recklessness impacted us and our community today? Well, the ancient Romans used lead to make their pipes, coins, cooking utensils, and even makeup. They used it because it seemed like the perfect building material. It was cheap, malleable, durable, and even had a low melting point. Perfect, right? Well, the ancient Romans only realized the problems with lead when the Roman architect Vitruvius connected the rapid decline of health and workers who handled lead to, well, lead. Honestly, I don't even know why it took him that long. Lead poisoning is one of the most widespread environmental health threats to children today. Globally, nearly 800 million kids worldwide have blood lead levels high enough to cause serious harm. Much of this exposure goes undetected because children don't show obvious symptoms in early stages. Okay, we all know that lead is bad, but did you guys know that lead atoms can actually take the place of calcium atoms, causing nerve damage? Also, a 6-year-old girl who's exposed to lead might actually end up feeding her child leaded breast milk. Today, I want to talk about lead coming from contaminated soil. I want to talk about how it got there and its impact in our community. I also want to talk about my journey, how I got here, and what I learned through this. A few years ago, I thought the entirety of environmental science was just deciding whether to put my uneaten food in a plastic plate in the trash, the recycling, or the compost, while pretending to know the difference. But then I stumbled across this program called eBay's. While reading the description of this program, I didn't really care about the environmental aspects of what they were teaching. My brain just saw that I got to use an X-ray fluorescence spectrometer. I had zero clue what that was, but it sounded cool and looked like that. So what reasonable 12-year-old could say no? eBay's is the East Bay Academy for Young Scientists, and the thing I'd signed up for was called the Community-Led Research Lab. In it, me and a group of about 15 other kids collected soil samples from both West Oakland and Piedmont. We found that a baby's potential lead ingestion rate is directly correlated with the amount of grass coverage on the ground. We found an 800% increase in places with low coverage when compared to places with high coverage. Yeah, 800%. Okay, and I'm sure you can see the difference of coverage between these two areas, with West Oakland having a lot less of it. In fact, we sampled here for about 5 hours, and none of us could find even one area that had 100% coverage. Okay, so now I'm sure you're wondering, how did lead even get here in the first place? Well, in the 1930s, the Federal Home Loan and Bank Board, which basically managed the housing market and loans, created these residential security maps, the product of which was systematic redlining. What this did is it basically divided our communities. People who lived in red areas were often a lot poorer and were denied basic home loans, while people who lived in green areas were usually a lot richer and were given loans with very low interest. What this led to is that more businesses would settle in green areas, causing property values to go up, making green residents even richer. On the other hand, red residents would get what attracted factories, which spewed toxins like lead into their community. On top of this, the only thing that really separated a green community from a red one was who lived in it. Red communities usually had black or immigrant families. In fact, only 6 out of 1,500 black communities were not marked red. 6 out of 1,500. Here at home, West Oakland still has some prominent effects due to redlining. As you can see, it's surrounded by these elevated highways. America only phased out leaded gasoline in the late 90s. All of this contributes to the amount of lead in our soil today. This project made me realize that pollution isn't far away. It's right underneath our feet. It made me realize that science isn't just a way to understand and interpret data. It became a way to see and fix what's wrong with the world. Learning about this was shocking to me. I came into this thinking it was going to be some cool sci-fi thing, not a lesson in more of our country's dark and depressing history. I needed a way to share this with more people, so that's why I'm here. To raise awareness. We can't change 400 years of mistakes or 3,000 years of bad decisions in one night, but we can start by building something better. So here's what you can do. You can plant some grass in some dry and covered areas. You can test your soil for lead, and you can ask your city what they're doing about it. I'd like to sincerely thank Jim from eBay's and the Lawrence Hall of Science for making this possible. I hope my talk made you think, not just about lead, but the systems that put it there. Thank you guys, and good night.